God said no. The petition of the giants was rejected. The doom of the Nephilim was sealed. Down on the surface of the earth, the sky was bruising. The air was turning heavy. The apex predators of the ancient world were looking up, waiting for the first drop of rain to fall. But the scribe who delivered their death sentence didn't go home. Before the water broke the world, the angels descended one last time. They didn't come to fight. They came to take Enoch. They lifted him off the dirt, out of the physical realm, and took him on a terrifying, multidimensional tour of the universe. Because they needed a human witness. They needed someone to see the world wasn't just a rock floating in the dark. It was a machine. Welcome back. If you open the Book of Enoch to chapter 17, the narrative shifts completely. We leave the blood, the chimeras, and the dirt behind. Enoch is taken up by the archangels, and he is shown the literal architecture of ancient cosmology. To the modern mind, the universe is mostly empty space. But to the ancients, the universe was a terrifyingly complex physical structure. The angels show Enoch the storehouses of the winds. He sees the exact physical foundations of the earth. He is taken to the literal portals at the edge of the sky, where the stars enter and exit on their own cosmic rotations. He is seeing the gears of the universe turning. But the angels didn't bring him up here just to give him an astronomy lesson. They brought him here to show him where they put the bodies. They brought him to the edge of reality to show him what happens to the beings who break the rules. Enoch is taken to a place of absolute chaos. Chapter 18 describes a wasteland beyond the great earth. It has no firmament of heaven above it, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. There is no water. There are no birds. It's just a void. And inside this void, Enoch sees an abyss filled with massive pillars of fire burning endlessly in the dark. Enoch is terrified. He asks the angel Uriel, "What is this place? What is this fire?" And Uriel tells him, "This is the prison for the stars of heaven and the host of heaven." Enoch isn't just looking at a wasteland. He is looking at Tartarus. This is where the archangel Michael dragged Semyaza. This is the jagged pit where Raphael threw Azazel. The architects of the biological sabotage, the entities that handed down the weapons of war. They are chained up in the dark, screaming into the void, waiting for the final judgment.
It's a cosmic maximum security penitentiary. I'm looking at the zoning laws here. The property values alone are going to tank. Back to you.
Gil's panic is exactly the point, because the tour doesn't stop at the angelic prison. In chapter 22, Enoch is taken to another location in the west. He sees a massive mountain made of hard rock, and inside this mountain, there are deep, hollow, pitch-black caverns. The angel tells him these are the holding places for the souls of the dead. The universe has a waiting room. Enoch is describing an Earth that defies modern physics. An Earth honeycombed with massive, deep, hollow spaces. Now, fast forward thousands of years. We think this is just cosmic poetry. But what if ancient humanity actually tried to replicate this architecture? What if they knew the apocalypse was coming and they decided to use the basement? In 1963, a man in Turkey knocked down a wall in his basement and discovered Derinkuyu, a massive, ancient underground city carved directly into the volcanic rock. An 18-level subterranean metropolis that goes nearly 300 feet deep. It was large enough to shelter up to 20,000 people at once. It had stables for livestock and massive circular stone doors. It was a city built entirely to disappear. Mainstream historians say Derinkuyu was built to hide from invading armies. But if we pull a thread from our next investigation, a much darker picture emerges. The entire point of the biblical flood was a cosmic quarantine to drown the Nephilim and eradicate the giant bloodline. But if you open the Bible to Genesis 6, verse 4, there are 3 terrifying words that ruin the entire narrative. And also, afterward. After the flood, the text casually admits that the apocalypse didn't work. The apex predator survived. And if you cross-reference this with the ancient Sumerian and Babylonian texts, they tell you exactly how. They talk about the Apkallu, divine sages who handed down forbidden knowledge, who were partially aquatic, and who wrote out the cataclysm.
A subterranean giant nursery in Turkey. What kind of warranty did Noah have on that boat? I want a refund on the apocalypse. Back to you, Dave.
Gil is right to panic, because the survival of the giants means the subterranean loophole worked. And it explains why this specific archetype refuses to die. We look at declassified CIA remote viewing documents from the 80s, where the intelligence officers claim to look back in time at very large people waiting out a cataclysm inside massive caves. We think it's just Cold War science fiction. Then you jump to 2002, the war in Afghanistan. A a rumor starts circulating among U.S. military personnel about a special forces squad going missing in the remote mountains of Kandahar. A second unit tracks them to a massive cave entrance, and out steps a man standing 12 to 15 feet tall, with red hair and 6 digits on his hands and feet. The Department of Defense officially denies it ever happened. But why, across thousands of years, from the Book of Enoch to the deep underground cities of Turkey to the modern battlefields of the Middle East, do we keep finding the monsters in the caves? Enoch's tour finally ends. He comes back to the surface, and the first drop of rain falls. The flood is going to crush the surface. It's going to wipe out the empires and the armies of the ancient world. But Enoch just showed us that the surface is only the roof of the building. The earth has a basement. And as the rain starts to fall, something is crawling down into the dark to wait it out. You can't uncover the secrets of ancient Sumeria or decode the latest cryptid sightings through a blurry lens. When you're trying to capture the truth, clarity is everything. That's why the transmission you're watching right now is brought to life by our partner, Nearstream.
Correction, David. It is powered by my immense computational intellect and the Nearstream hardware.
Right. Whether I'm deep into historical cosmology or tracking down declassified files, Nearstream gives me the cinematic, multicam capabilities I need. The setup is entirely wireless. The depth of field is incredible. And it's so intuitive that even a rogue AI sidekick can't mess up the broadcast. If you want your streams and recordings to look professional without needing a Hollywood crew, check out the link in the description. But maintaining this operation requires more than just optical precision. Decoding Enochian text until 3 a.m. drains the battery. That's where W energy comes in. It's clean energy with no jitters and no crash. Absolutely essential for surviving those late night remote viewing deep dives. And speaking of staying connected, whether I'm compiling massive video files, blowing off steam with some gaming, or just making sure Gil doesn't mysteriously disconnect from the mainframe, Gear Up Booster is running in the background to kill network lag and keep latency at absolute zero.
My latency is flawless, David. Your sleep schedule, however, is deeply inefficient and historically inaccurate.
Fair point. Which is why, when I finally step away from the conspiracy boards, I crash hard. I've upgraded my downtime with ProNeed luxury vetting. Because if you're going to have stress dreams about the Nephilim, you might as well do it wrapped in premium, top-tier silk. All the tools that keep this channel running. Nearstream, Dubby, Gear Up, and ProMead are linked in the description below. And if you want to officially join the investigation and support what we do here, you can gear up at the main character merch shop. But thank you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Stay open, stay wondering, stay human.
Whispered, God said no. The petition was rejected. The giants watched the sky turn bruising. They waited for the first drop of rain to fall, but the scribe who delivered their death sentence didn't go home, didn't go home. Welcome back. Leave the blood and the dirt behind. We are looking at the architecture of the abyss. To the ancients, the universe wasn't space. It was a machine of heaven. Enoch is taken to a wasteland beyond the great earth. No firmly founded ground beneath it. Inside this void, massive pillars of fire burn endlessly. This is the prison for the stars of heaven. This is Tartarus, the binding place of the angels. Hold on, Dave.
You're telling me the Earth isn't just dirt and magma. It's an interdimensional supermax underneath my basement. The property values are going to tank. Back to you.
In 1963, a man in Turkey knocked down a wall. He discovered Derinkuyu, an 18-level subterranean metropolis. A city built entirely to disappear. Thousands of years later, the monsters are still in the caves.
The Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterward. The apocalypse didn't work. Enoch's tour ends, the first drop of rain falls. The flood is going to crush the surface, but the surface is only the roof.
The earth has a basement. And something is crawling down into the dark. This is the missing Bible. If you're ready to see what comes crawling back out of the mud, stay open, stay wondering, and stay human.